Good job.
Here is a special segment. Yeah, a special segment's called Let's Clear the Air. That's what we're doing. We're clearing the air. There's nothing to clear. But we're going to talk about comedy, folks. We have some legendary comics. We have some legendary comics. Let's introduce yourself, each one of you. Starting with you, I won't even say your name, Dave.
Wow, I get to say my
and say a sentence or two about yourself. Everybody do the same.
You just said I won't say your name, Dave, which
it's kind of redundant. This is comedy.
Dave Decker, a sentence or two. Been doing comedy about 10 years, all over New England. Personal friend of Jerry Caruso's.
Paul Durrance, I've been doing comedy for just over 2 years, and I'm assuming I'm not getting paid to be here.
No.
Okay.
I'll push it.
Hi, I'm Greg Boggis. I'm a temp.
Who are you filling in for? Greg?
The other comic didn't show up. I got the page. I came here from Denny's where I was doing dishes.
I'm Dennis Wirth, and I just want to let everybody out there know that the camera adds 10 pounds, and there's 3 cameras on me right now. I'm actually the skinniest guy at the table right here.
He is.
Good friend to all these guys.
Yep. Good friend. All right. Well, we will discuss different topics of comedy, folks. And we're going to just bring the table around, and we're going to talk. Ooh, what was that? That was my phone. It means I'm getting a gig somewhere.
Ooh,
no.
You're booked.
Doesn't mean that. First of all, everyone knows comedy is a high, and any moments that you like, is this true with all of you? Like, do you experience a certain high, and is it a certain point in your act that it just comes about? Anybody, doesn't matter.
Well, I think when they're laughing is usually when the high comes.
Come on. Is there a certain point? Do you know when it's going to happen? Do you?
I think out the gate, you get a good sense that, you might have them. Sometimes you got to work for it, but, when they're right there with you at the start, it's kind of electric, and you just go on this roll, and you can't sleep till 3 o'clock in the morning.
Dennis, what do you think?
Yeah, man, if you can get a laugh, if you can get them clapping, that would be the next level. If you can get them cheering and screaming, that would be the next level. It's how far can I bring this crowd? How much reaction can I get out of them?
Paulie.
Kind of the same. I mean, you try to start out with something really good so you can kind of gauge where the crowd is. And, usually if you can get a couple good laughs right at the beginning, you can just kind of roll with
that. 10?
Yeah, I just appreciate when they're not throwing food. I set the bar very, very low. As long as there's not stuff flying at me, I'm very happy.
There is. We all experience a comfort zone. I mean, sometimes it comes within your career. Like, how long, I can start with you, Tim, right? How long do you think it took you to achieve that comfort zone? Some people it's overnight, and some people it's like years. I mean, is it any anticipation when you think you found that comfort zone, when you felt so comfortable?
I think I'm about 2 years away from it.
Next week.
It's once you've been on stage long enough to realize that even if things aren't going well, you're not going to get drummed out of the business. And that.
Did you feel it at like a certain point in your career? I'm not saying it had to be a certain show. Could have been a certain show, but.
I guess I can't really pinpoint it, but it was sometime a few years in where you knew that you weren't just just to get up on stage and just to remember your stuff was a chore. Now as within a couple of years, I want to say like 2 or 3 years, you start to, all right, if you get 10 minutes, you're feeling pretty comfortable that you're going to be able to deliver whatever 10 minutes you have, and whatever the audience response is, you're going to be okay with.
Yeah.
If it's good.
You're
happy. And if it's not, you're still at least not frightened.
Once you worked out your first 5 minutes, when you start and you got nothing, so you're hoping you get a laugh. When you worked out your first 5 minutes, you can get 5 minutes left. You always got that to fall back on, and you can build on from there.
But is it always like, does it seem like you get to a place where whether you had a show or you were at somebody's show, where you just knew it, where you just knew you had that comfort, like right there? You know, did you ever feel that in any one of your shows, or whether it be?
He's doing a show with this guy here. He gave me early on. We were doing a show. It was the three of us, and I think Bill. And I asked him, like, you nervous? He's like, well, you don't get nervous. He's like, well, they're either gonna like me or they don't. My material ain't gonna change either way. I mean, you got what you got. They either like it or they don't. Ain't gonna change much. Give you a little breather there.
Yeah. How about you?
I think for me, it was like the moment I was able to be comfortable enough to actually enjoy what I was doing, you know. And that,
But did that take a while?
oh yeah, it took years. You know, you would
because
just,
I always think that too.
yeah. First, you're just trying not to throw up on your shoes, and then you're so intensely focused on remembering anything, regardless of whether people are there or laughing or not. You're just plowing through it, and then at the point where you can just like stop, take a sip of water, enjoy the laughter, and realize this is the blast. That's when I think it changes.
For the record, he threw up 4 times. One night too. One night too. Paul, you know, and I know it's been a little over 2 years, and I know the horror stories about, you know, the very first show you were nervous with. Was there any a point at a show where you felt like, oh, this is bad as I thought it was going to be? This is good. This is working.
Well, yeah, with me, I mean, it's come with repetition. I mean, I'll kind of, you know.
Somebody taught you that, right?
Yeah. And Dennis. No, but you know, it's like, you know, the more shows you do, you just get more of a comfort level, and you know, I mean, talking to pretty much everyone I work with, they all just say, you know, just go up and do it. Sometimes they're gonna laugh, sometimes they're not. It just depends on the crowd. Sometimes you get the crowd, sometimes you don't.
Yeah, raise your hand.
There'll be question and
You
answer.
had a chance to answer.
Yeah, so I remember doing a show at the Aqua Lounge up in York Beach.
York, Peter
Pastor was the book.
Peter Pastor?
Peter Pastor.
Peter Proud.
Peter
That's the
Pastor.
movie.
Peter
Peter Proud, yeah, that was
Purple
the
Peppers.
70s guy.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
Reincarnation of
But
Peter
Peter
Proud.
Pastor, yeah.
Peter Pastor was the booking agent, and it was the second floor, right in the ocean, had tiki torches on the deck, and
Or
it was
tacky torches.
tacky torches, and it was kind of a tough room.
Yeah, it was.
So there were, I think it had like an opener and a headliner, and usually the opener would have a tough time. And I remember being up there. It was like a 20-minute set, and I remember being up there for about 10 minutes, and it was tough. And then at some point I cracked them, and I realized, oh, you can stick it out until you crack the crowd, and then they're on your side. So that was one of the revealing moments for me. Was it can be tough, and then you can slog through, and then it happens, and then they're on your side, and you're doing okay.
Judges thought
Went over the crowd.
he answered twice. Here's a magical question. I know you'll all be able to answer. Is there politics in comedy? Dennis.
Yes. Bad. If you
Sure,
work for
that's
this
right.
one, you can't work for that one. If you work for that one, you can't work for this one.
Yep.
If you like this one, you ain't working for me.
Politics. Yep. So true. Politics?
I mean, everybody's got an ego, and you know.
Get out.
Yeah, I'm just saying. So I think if you just go out there and do your job the best you can, and try to stay away from the backstage
That's
drama,
the best way.
to be
Best
fine.
way to handle it.
Yeah.
No, it's the best way to handle it.
There's politics everywhere, families, whatever. Just try to stay out of it and smile.
There's only so much work to go around, and everybody's competing for it.
True. That's so true. And it comes dog eat dog. It's like it's really not worth it. And like we always say, you and I practice this theory. We're worth friends. Friends.
Know your circle,
That's what it's
absolutely.
worth. Yeah. You know,
I found leaving threatening voicemails is effective.
yeah, I've been meaning to tell you. I know it's you. I know it's you.
The boiling rabbit was a nice touch.
Well, you know, the kids got a little frightened. And it
You
was their
put the
rabbit.
horse's head in my bed, didn't you? That was you.
It was their rabbit. I meant to tell you.
Everybody thinks we're kidding.
Well, you know, it's comedy. Paul, and it's a limited, you know, and I'm not trying to say, you know, like, have you seen politics where you've gone, or?
No, not too much. And again, I'm getting most of my stuff from you guys. So, you know, I haven't really seen it. I've heard the stories, but I
Haven't been outside the circle yet. You
Right.
stayed in the circle.
Right.
So.
Smart man. Greg, yeah, I mean, you've been around as long as me, almost as long as me.
Yeah. I mean,
You're
you know,
like
it's
20,
like anything.
20 deep.
Yeah,
20
I
deep?
think there's. Yeah, I think so. At least.
And I'm 23. I'll be 23 soon.
Yeah, like any Dave said, families, workplaces. I think that there's always politics involved. There's ultimately, booking agents are people, and so they have people that they like, and they like people for a variety of reasons, because the first time they saw them, they thought they liked their act, they thought they had potential, so they're going to stick with them, even though, and the politics are, of course, everybody thinks they're the greatest, so they're wondering why this person is working and that person is working and that agent isn't working me, and it's just, I remember Chris McGuire, who's a great comic, and he told me years ago, he said, it's a war of attrition, you just stick around, and you just try to knock on the doors and ring the bells and leave the messages in a polite, professional manner. And a booking agent will either end up using you or not using you. And sometimes it really has nothing to do with how good your act is. It's just whether or not they've got a full roster and they've got room. And sometimes if you've been nice and you've left some of those messages and they need somebody in short notice, like, oh yeah, this person has been showing me that they're out working hard and I'm going to open the door for them. Some people have a real closed roster and they don't, I like to, broaden it out and experiment much. And part of it too is that you're using people that so you know what to bring to the table.
Well, plenty of challenges. But plenty of challenges is trying to crack that.
Sure.
Sometimes it doesn't happen.
Sure.
It's like,
But if they at least if they know about you and something goes down, then they know about you. And they're like, hey, I know who I can call.
Right. And the known quantity thing is that, you know the people that you work with, how they perform, and you're bringing somebody else new in, and and they end up launching a bottle or starting a bar fight, which can happen. I mean, there's mercurial people in the business that can actually end up causing you troubles by being inappropriate or aggressive or just not. Some people like to be edgy to the point that they're pushing the audience into an uncomfortable place, and you got a headliner that doesn't like to go up and mop up after somebody that's been pushing.
That's true.
Pushing the envelope.
Right. Now I'm gonna say a name to all of you, and you give me a sentence to describe. If you don't know, then you could pass. Upside down.
Wow. A person who was just marvelously alive on all levels, just lived life just full throttle, just a great human being, an amazing comic.
I would say Bob Seidel, hero, mentor, funny guy, loved by all, missed. Did you ever get a chance to see him, Paul?
Never met him. I have seen him, videos, things like that. Very funny guy. Again, just echoing what you guys, just very well liked for what I can tell. Everything I've heard about him, just a great guy.
Dennis?
Boston legend, and he went out of his way just to make you feel like one of the guys. I knew how big he was in comedy. I was so nervous about meeting him, and within seconds, I felt like we were great friends. He just had that charisma about him that just one of the guys. Yeah,
definitely. Greg, I know you were close to him.
Yeah, and he was.
You and I were very close.
Yeah, he was. I mean, because I knew him before actually I started doing comedy, so I used to actually see him as a fan, and then hung out with him after a couple of shows, and so I knew him for a very long time, and then. When I got into comedy, I considered him somebody to look up to, and he was just very unpretentious, like Dennis said. Somebody that would there were people that, they like their introductions in a particular way, and that's fine. Right. But Bob was like, whatever you want to say, just bring me up, and wouldn't tell you what kind of material or how to perform in front of him because he knew that his act was such that he would be able to do what a headliner does.
Right.
Again, not knocking anybody that has any, any requests about people working with them. That's they like to, basically know what they're working with, and that's cool. But Bob was just one of those guys. No matter what people did in front of him, he could come and then be the headliner. Absolutely. And he was a warm, funny guy, just a truly funny guy. His persona on stage was his persona off stage. They were one of the same, and it was just a funny.
And he was always the best audience member. He would throw you off your timing. He'd be laughing so hard.
He enjoyed it.
And you'd be like, Bob, you heard this 5 times. And he's still laughing. You could hear him in any room. You could hear him. You know exactly where he was. It was great.
And what I liked about him too is every comic respected him out there from A to Z. Every booker, the same thing.
Yeah.
And he knew he got taken advantage of sometimes. It didn't bother him that much. And if it did, he'd tell you as a friend, but also, just the respect of it. And people, when they talked about him, they laughed about him. Like, first time that I worked with Jim McHugh, Jim said to me, "So you worked for Cyber last week?" "Where?" I said, "I was up in Bangor." He goes, "How's your right shoulder?" I go, "What do you mean?" He goes, "You were driving. He probably hit you. Come out. And that's what he do. He goes, it's a funny story. And I told you the story. One time, me and Bob were up in Dexter, Maine. That's an affluent place, huh?
The home of Dexter Shoes.
Yes, home of Dexter Shoes. And
Former home.
And we're driving home, and he goes, "You gotta stop, Caruso. You gotta stop." I go, "Why?" "Look at these stars. Look at them." I go, "Bob, I'm driving," but I had to pull over just to enjoy that moment and shut him up at the same time.
He was one of those.
But that's
suck the marrow out of life kind of guys. Yeah,
Oh,
he really was.
You
And he traveled all over the world.
Oh God, yeah.
He was really awesome.
Amazing.
Some people get high in comedy and they look down on you, but Bob was always one of the guys. He never got too big. He was just
it's just the ultimate.
Yeah. And the other guy like that too was Kevin Knox. Kevin Knox was another guy. Was
not that it's on it, but that's the next.
Could always do what the headliner
so Kevin
does.
Knox, right, and Kevin Knox. Did you ever get a chance to work?
Actually, before I started doing comedy, I seen him at a comedy show.
Yeah.
He headlined a show, High Energy, and you
Oh
could
my
tell
God.
he loved to do what he do. He was enjoying himself up there. It wasn't a job. He was really enjoying himself.
One time, I'll give you two instances of Kevin Knox, and one's a touching story too. I'll give you the touching story. One time I worked for who's that fucker, Rob Stein, Steen. And so we did a show up north of Manchester. Had to be a couple times. It could have been near Concord.
Yeah.
Now it started later than it was supposed to. Big shock. And so Kevin came out, and this is when he was battling cancer. And I asked him how he was doing. He goes, "Jerry, how you doing? Even if he met you once, he remembered you. He's kind of like a wilder version of Bob Seibel, right? A little younger, and he treated my wife like he'd known her for years. He was so polite to her, and he was talking about the thing he's going through. He goes, "Oh, don't feel bad for me." He goes, "I'm beating this." And he's talking about the cancer he was dealing with, and he didn't treat you like you were a comic. He treated you like you were just like he's known you for years, and he might not have seen you for years, but he just made you feel at home. The funniest thing I ever did, the first show I ever did with Paul Wayne.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And so Paul Wayne, big booking inspector at the Boston Comedy Company, and I opened for Kevin, and he goes, "Are you nervous, kid?" I go, "Yeah, just don't be nervous. But just have fun, suck it all in." He goes, "I suck it all in every night." He goes, "Look at me. That's why I look like this." And he made me feel at ease, and I did okay. And he was right because I sucked. but he was a good guy. But then after the show, he says, "Don't worry, kid. He's got his arm around me. Don't worry, kid." He goes, "Everything's gonna be all right." He goes, "How long you been doing it?" I go, "Just a couple of years." He goes, "Just stick with it." He goes, "You got something." He goes, "I don't know what it is, but you got it." He goes, "Now I'll tell you what." He goes, "Look at this place. Look at this place. Beautiful chicks. Look at these chicks." He goes, "What do you say? Me and you grab a few and go to the side and have some drinks." I go, "I'm happily married." He goes, "Better for me." I'm excited. He said. And it's like I walked away feeling. I first felt like I did okay. I didn't do that great. I shouldn't have high expectations. Then he made me feel like I was just part of it.
Sure.
But he made me laugh just going out the door.
Stepping stone.
But that's Kevin Knox.
Yeah.
That was
And I remember him saying one time, I can't remember what the venue was, but it was, what you'd call a sucky gig, not a great gig.
Yep.
But he's like, look on the bright side. You're not digging a ditch,
Yeah.
and literally he's like,
exactly.
you're having, you're doing what you like to do in a place, and so it ain't working out too great tonight because there's not much of a crowd or whatever.
Yeah.
But big deal, the worst thing you got is a couple of free drinks and some people to tell jokes to.
Better than having a real job.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, so he brought a lot of that infectious, positive,
The energy. You
Energy
got that
to-
energy,
to-
yeah. And it just set you right. Role model. I know your answer, but who do you like as your favorite comedian? Do you like to kind of sort of model after Dennis?
I'm a huge fan of Sam Kinison. I
Love
thought
him.
he
Love
was brutally honest.
Yep.
And, he didn't hold nothing back. He talked about things you weren't supposed to talk about, made him hysterical.
Yep.
And just his honesty, I always loved.
I
He didn't hold nothing, no punches.
I like
the
when
way
he
it
brought
is.
that character to the movies. It was in the Rodney Dangerfield movies. He was the the same character.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
was
yeah.
great when he was
Professor
that teacher.
Turgis.
Oh my
Turgis.
God, yeah. Craig?
I was up to my knees in rice patties.
Is he right?
So yeah, I mean a whole bunch. You know, I mean, I physical comedy. I love the Three Stooges. Growing up, they were a big part of my comedy
Pioneers.
development.
They were like
sure.
pioneers. They were like pioneers.
And even Laurel and Hardy and Abbott Costello.
Yeah.
So that was like, you know, physical comedy. And then for for stand up, you know, obviously Richard Pryor, but he, you know, I loved the Carol Burnett show. I loved Carol Burnett. I thought she was
Extremely
wonderfully
talented cast.
Yeah.
They were cracking each other up. That's
Yeah.
how good that cast.
And so yeah, Tim Conway and Harvey
Harvey
Korman
Korman.
and that, and you know George Carlin obviously as a wordsmith, you know,
Yeah.
somebody that really had the dedication to the language and how it was used and had that way of delivering, you know. And there's a ton more. There's some you know more contemporary comics.
That's your one comic.
But I would say probably maybe George Carlin / Steve Martin. I think Steve Martin was the guy
I'm gonna
that
get
first
it.
forced that kind of, you know, wow, this could be a really great
I'm sorry. Steve Martin, I saw in the late 70s, which spurred me to do comic. I delayed it by 15 years, but whatever. I met him in 78. I saw him in Boston.
Symphony Hall.
Symphony Hall, yep. It was phenomenal. He came out, and back then he was thin as a rail, and he came out with a white suit. You know, doing his thing. He was not in improv.
Excuse me.
Improv and energy. And he went on for like almost 2 hours.
Right, with the banjo.
Non-stop. The banjo,
sure.
yep. Playing the wrong music to the right tune, and, you know, he'd do his thing. But I looked at him and said, how does he do it? And he just like, he's on that stage, he's coming down, going up and down the aisles. He was like another version of Rob Williams, but he was just like, he was so inspiring. I'm like, wow, this guy is like, he's like bringing everything to the stage. And
Right.
got everybody involved, and everybody was like laughing so hard. The place was packed, and I was way in back and seeing, but then he's coming down the aisle, and he's near me too, and it's like, wow, how can this guy do all that? He's telling jokes, he's going up and down the aisles, and it's like, he just was nonstop. It's like, give me a break. So, Paul,
Well, you just mentioned the Robin Williams. I just love that. It's so effortless. He just plays off the crowd. The entire. It almost seems like he goes out there, nothing's written down.
Yep, he's spontaneous. Yeah.
And he just you give him the slightest little thing, and he just runs with it. And I mean, that's something I've loved at some point.
He was a
too.
genius. He was definitely
Yeah.
Something out of nothing, like.
Yeah, just like that.
It's just, you know, it's like he'd be talking about something, and all of a sudden it just like takes a left.
Yeah.
And he's just going. And I could sit and watch him for hours.
David?
I'm like Greg, old school. I think Groucho Marx probably. You know, I'm a
Groucho
Marxist.
Marx, oh.
Yeah, and not that he was just really a stand-up comedian, but you know, Johnny Carson, Bob Hope, that type of stuff. But more contemporary. I know it's a name that's not popular now, but Bill Cosby. As a stand-up comedian,
Sure.
those albums I listened to till they
Russell,
broke.
my brother,
All of those.
Yep.
Why is there air? And that had a profound effect. That it just made it seem like you could just have this funny conversation, you know, and do it.
And he was one of the few that made it clean and just.
And I saw him 5 years ago before all the controvery. Still brilliant. Still at
That's
the top
what
of his
everybody
game.
says.
Still great. You know, and it's
Where did you see him?
saw him at the Wang.
Oh,
And just brilliant. And it's such a shame what's happened to him, and what not happened to him, what he's done. And
They did.
but anyway, but Sam Kinison, I agree, and George Carlin probably, and Richard Pryor. I think Richard Pryor might be the greatest American stand-up comedian ever. And when he died, he got like 2 sentences in the newspaper, and he should have had.
Oh, God.
It should have been the cover of
Another
Time.
one.
It should have been the cover of Time magazine when he died. He's that good, and it's just a shame that he just went into obscurity like that.
See, I'm the same. I look at old school. I think Carson was a genius at telling jokes.
Yeah.
He made a bad joke funny. I tell a lot of comics.
He
Kinda
bombed
grab
better than
himself.
anybody.
He's the best. First one to bomb.
Yeah.
You know, when he did the tap dance, that was just a riot. It was like, you know, he just do it, and everybody be laughing. It's like, how can you not laugh at that? And I too, Robin Williams. I go old school. Groucho Marx, Three Stooges. You know, Laurel and Hardy. You know, I remember growing up as a kid with all those. But then going through the different phases of comedy, like with the Sam Kinison, with the Bill Cosby, with all these
even Rodney Dangerfield, even
No,
for his
Dangerfield,
work,
no.
but just for giving back. He brought us Sam Kinison.
Yeah.
He brought
Yeah.
us
He
Roseanne
got so
Barr.
many-
He brought
yeah.
us Louis
Jay
Anderson.
Leno too. Jay Leno,
He
yeah.
gave back, yeah.
Yeah, which is a great thing, and you know, but I think too, as we all get involved with shows, and you give back a lot too. You help a lot of people, and you know, booking
I
people.
learned from you. You
Well,
give back,
you know, but
it's
we-
the way to do it. Yeah.
We do the same thing, and Greg has shows.
I give back nothing, folks. All right.
Right,
Yeah.
pretty much.
I take.
He
take.
takes a lot. He takes Dave.
He takes. I give.
Dave the
Yeah,
taker, decker, a non-giver, temp. No,
Temp.
I'm just very uncomfortable right now.
yeah, well, you learn, kid. You learn, kid.
Put a smile on. Paul.
Put some glasses on. Yeah. But so when we get involved, and I know there are only so many of us book shows. Greg, you book some shows.
On occasion,
Yep, and you've had the one where you do on Sunday nights now.
coffee house.
Yeah, and how is that compared to booking like a regular show? Is there a difference there?
Yeah,
No, yeah,
it's
go ahead.
because it's a small venue, and the owners don't want kind of a full bore comedy show. And it's got to be. I've basically got to make sure that the comics have been. You know, I don't like necessarily having to tell people how to perform, but the venue is such that they'd like to have not essentially a full blown, you know, talk about anything kind of comedy shows. So it's something where people are asked to bring their clean material and work out the clean material.
Is that why I was banned for life?
No blue material. That's why he hasn't had me over. Now I get it.
Or me, or Dave.
Right. Enough of that question. Do you book like regular shows? We had a room like
I have, yeah.
And how was that? Was that like a smaller type of venue? Was it like a 2-man show, a 3-man show? As opposed to like the coffee house would be more, right?
Yeah, the coffee's like a showcase, so there'll be I'll host, and there'll be like 6 comics.
Yeah, okay.
8 minutes or so.
And but when you had the other room,
Usually-
was it different for the other room? You never had me at.
I'm trying to think of.
You hear what I
I'm
said?
trying to
The
think
one
of
you
line.
never had me at.
Yes. The one.
Yeah, that one. I remember that one. No, go ahead. No, but what was the difference between that? Because the other one's more of a showcase, whereas the other one that you had was like what, 2-man or 3-man show?
Yeah. I'm trying to think of. What the heck? I'm actually going to.
Could have been a pizza place.
Oh, the pizza place. Oh, yeah.
Is that it? Am
Yeah, I
right?
was
Am
there.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I actually tried to get. I tried to get this guy there. He wouldn't come. He wouldn't say. He said he wouldn't work at a.
He's a recluse.
He said he's Italian. He won't
never
work
get
at a
out.
big.
He's
pizza
known as the
place.
shut-in comic.
Did the show.
So-
Dennis, when
And that lasted, I think, 3 shows. So
That's right.
before.
That's right. I remember.
Because Jerry wouldn't come.
We were standing on a souvlaki, a creative souvlaki as a
Yeah,
stage.
that's what it was.
It's one of those classy gigs. In town.
Dennis, you booked like some big shows. Tell
Yeah.
everybody, you know, the ones you had in Westminster.
Steve Sweeney, yeah, we had him
Right.
over there, King
Right.
of Boston Comedy, and
Yeah.
I started out in a local bar just trying to make my friends laugh, and I worked, and I was like, it was a surreal moment. It hit me. I'm standing next to Steve
You believe that?
Sweeney. I was like,
He's a great
you
guy.
know, I'm booking the guy. It's like, can I have your autograph, man? It was just a surreal night, and I got a charge out of that. Next year, I brought Jimmy J.J. Walker. I flew him in from Vegas. We got him up there, and it was a dynamite night. I can say it. He can't. Is like he can't use that term anymore, but
That's right.
he lost it in the divorce. That's he's got to pay royalties.
No, really, is that true?
I think he talks about it in his
You can't
act.
say it, right? You can't
No, well, live he can say it. If he says it on air, he has to pay royalties. He says, you know, she took my golf clubs. I took her dresses. She took dynamite.
Oh my God. Now, but you book other shows where there's a bunch of comics where it is like a showcase too.
Yeah, scoreboards up
Yeah,
in Leominster we do. Yeah, JD Chasers up in Hudson, New
J.D.
Hampshire for
Chasers been a
years.
long
Yeah,
time.
that was a 6-year run up there. Did showcases.
That was a unique room. That was fun though.
Learned a lot though, you know, like how you have to do the small shows before
Yeah.
you can do the big
Big
shows.
shows,
It's a
right.
stepping stone you need to learn, you know, to get to where you're at.
You do good at it. Paul, I know you haven't really booked any shows.
No, I read books once in a while.
Pass.
Big ones.
Let's see.
Coloring books mostly.
You?
No real desire because comedians are really mostly mentally ill people.
No.
And,
No.
No.
with all kinds of dependencies and you know, and addictions, and I prefer to just show up, do my thing, go away, and let you guys deal with the backstage drama.
That's right. That's right. That's right. No, because I booked some too, and some are fun, some are work, and some are, you know,
Reliability is a big one. You know, you can be the funniest comic in the world, no matter if you don't show up.
That's true. That's true. Now, there's nothing on here.
I noticed that.
It did look good.
It's got
flowing, brother.
asparagus, milk, half and half.
I'm not getting asparagus, I told you.
Oh, okay.
You can have it if you want it. I don't want it. Has there been anybody?
KO Pectin. What else is on that list? And you saw what is
Xanax,
what's going
the
on?
Xanax.
Bengay, Metamucil.
Yeah. My friends. Yeah. I say nobody has an ego yet. They're all thinks, that's why. Anyway, a thinky ego. No. Is there anyone like what's the most? There has to be a unique experience for you to the show, and it's just a weird happening. You can say where it was. It could be a show full of nuts. But is there any unique experiences? Any unique shows, Dennis?
You booked me one time at some 50 show there up at the Westminster Country Club before I was doing shows
Remember that?
there.
They were all dressed in tuxedos.
And there were a bunch of filthy rich people there with their noses were like this, and they really looked down on us the whole night, and I didn't care for that gig. They just thought they were better than us, and I didn't care
But they were
for
all
that
dressed to
atmosphere.
kill. I said, can we come?
It was, yeah.
You were dressed good. I was dressed good, and
Rich
Rich
showed up in
shows
shorts,
in it was like
a t-shirt and shorts.
a t-shirt and shorts, like Lake Winnipesaukee. I won this shirt. I'm like, Rich, I just came straight. I go, yeah, I can tell you came straight. And he came like, well, they probably liked him. No, they didn't like him. They go, who's he? I go, he's a dishwasher. We gave him a shot. Greg, any stranger show? Could be with me. I don't care.
Yeah, well, I did. I interviewed Esther Koo a couple weeks ago, and she did a swingers. She did a swingers like it was a private party.
No.
I was like, that's good.
You
But
can explain this first. This is your cable show.
Right. Yeah. So I have a cable show called the Boggis Hour, and interviewed a comedian who started in Boston who lives in New York now, and she said she did that, which reminded me of my gig, which I did with Carolyn Plummer.
Okay.
And Carolyn Plummer and Bob Gautreaux, and it was a nudist camp.
What?
They don't like calling it a colony.
So you fit right in.
They bristled
at the Speedway.
They bristled at. No, it's not. It's not that place.
The campground.
Cedar
It
Water.
was in. Yeah, it's not Cedar Waters. It's someplace in Rhode Island or Connecticut.
I know.
And it was. If you've never been to a nudist camp or a nudist resort,
Recently.
essentially, yeah,
Who hasn't
recently,
been to a nudist?
it's essentially everybody that you don't want to see naked is naked. And then the few people that you might want to see naked are dressed up like nuns. So it's just, it was really.
You fit right in,
It
didn't you?
was very, very frightening.
Paulie, any strange show? I know.
Nothing. I mean, nothing really stands out. I mean, there's been a couple where it was fundraisers that didn't really.
The round table at AOTV, right?
That might be it. You know,
What did that show?
Good luck in your future endeavors.
and there was like maybe 4 people there, and it was just, it was awkward because it was like, I can fit more people in my living room, but here we are. That was pretty much probably the oddest part of it, but it is what it is. You're there, you do it.
Yep. Anyone that stands out?
I did.
Dennis?
I did.
Oh,
Oh, sorry.
sorry.
You got that?
Skipping around.
You're right.
Skipping around.
Sorry.
Go ahead. Dennis,
What's the question?
strangest show.
Strangest show?
Yeah, weirdest show. Could be weird dynamics.
Up
with
the Beatniks up in Worcester we did there, yeah.
Oh, that's right.
I was doing my child support superhero routine. I had this guy cracking up, and his girlfriend sitting next to him was getting madder by the minute that he was cracking up at the routine. After the show, she called a cab and would refuse to drive home with him. She was mad. He was laughing at a comedy show.
Yep.
There's the irony of comedy right there.
I remember.
Dennis Wirth, ruining relationships through
That's right.
stand-up.
Throughout Massachusetts.
Daily.
I did a comedy contest at what's the Nashua baseball team? The big
The White Knights now.
whatever, they were the
Back then it was
Pride or something.
Pride.
Yeah.
And so you, in between innings, you stood out on
Oh.
top of the dugout in front of like a couple thousand people
Oh.
doing your thing, and then they voted for you somehow. But it was kind of like, today, I feel like the luckiest comic in the world. It was really
jokes at
weird.
once.
Like, people like eating hot dogs and booing and
That's how
whatever.
they voted. They would take a bite out of a hot
Oh,
dog.
yeah. It was really surreal.
So, who booked it?
Actually, I don't even know. I don't even know where that came from.
Wow, that's brutal.
Yeah.
You'll like this. Many of you don't know, but some of you do know. Bob Sheehy. You know Bob Sheehy. Bob,
Yeah,
you know
Bob, I know Bob.
Bob Sheehy booked an engagement party. He goes, kid, we got an engagement party. It's gonna be fun. I said, no, it's not gonna be fun. Well, just do it. Don't worry. Just do 20 in front of me, and I do 30. They want 45 minutes to 50 minutes. So I did it, and I wung it through. I mean, I was okay. They were all chatty, but they were all laughing at a few things. Bob goes on stage and starts getting a little filthy. He got a little edgy. The father of the bride comes up to me. Get him off the stage. No. I says, I can't. He booked this. I don't care who booked it. You guys want to get paid or not? I said, we want to get paid. Get him off the stage no matter what you do. I go, you can't interrupt him. Do what it takes. So I got him a beer, and I wrote it on a napkin. Bob, get off the stage now. I go, Bob, here you go. He goes, oh, thanks. Oh, get off the stage now. That's my time, folks.
Good night.
It's the worst experience. You don't do it at an engagement party. It's like, oh, God. It's like totally insane.
Every show's different.
1 minute left.
1 minute left. Quickly. Promote one show coming up. Anybody? One show coming up.
March 19th, Chunky Cinema in Nashua.
Nice. Paul?
March 17th, Dessert Bar Lemonster, the all-Italian show. I'm the token Irish guy.
Token Irish guy, yeah.
Right on your clipboard there. What show is that? It's coming up next week.
Yeah. March 12th. Yep.
March 12th.
Yep. At the American Legion.
The American Legion in?
Yep. Athol.
In Athol.
I got my own show. Greg plugged his, The Comedy Kitchen. Check it out on YouTube.
Good show. Very good show.
Bring comics on. We cook dishes. I like to eat in case you couldn't tell. Check it out. YouTube, Comedy Kitchen.
Mine would be, I got a very special show coming up March 18th, second year in Rome, headlining in Gorham, Maine for the Robbie Foundation. I'm doing it with Greg Boggis and
Comic comedian later.
maybe Dave Decker. I'm not sure. All right, good night, everybody. This special table. Thank you to all my friends, Dennis, Greg, Paul, Dave, me. Goodbye. Good night. We love you. Good night, Athol. You guys were great. Good night, Orange, too. Thank you, Joe.